So we need to know who litters. Now, back in the day, Texas-based GSD&M, they spent $500,000 hiring a company to figure out who litters. And I'm going to see if we could recreate that in this room. Do you think we could do it? Okay, I'm going to need you to be loud. We're going to figure out who litters on the side of the road. Males or females?
Females!
Oh, there's not like one guy who could throw in females at the end of that. All right, so males litter. Young males or old males? Those damn young males. Do they drive cars or do they drive trucks? Minivans or pickup trucks? Okay, so with like no research at all, you're a very convinced audience. It turns out, after really doing this research, you're absolutely right. The people who litter on the side of the road are males, they're young, and they drive pickup trucks. They also drink beer. I know this because I've researched this one myself. And it's Texas, so let's give them a shotgun rack. But most importantly, they have a king of my world lifestyle. So put yourself inside that pickup truck, juxtapose yourself next to the crying Italian actor, and ask yourself if he stops you from wanting to throw a beer can at the side of your pickup truck. Inevitably, he does not. So I'm going to show you the campaign they came up with. If you're from Texas, you'll recognize it. If you're from outside of it, you'll know of it, but you won't necessarily know it's from littering. Yes. Don't mess with Texas. Yeah, we got a Texas contingent here. And my favorite part about this, trademark. This is a trademarked ad slogan. These words were used for the very first time to get young males to stop littering. In fact, one of the very first commercials had two NFL Dallas Cowboy superstars. The one guy sees someone litter, picks up the can on the side of the road, crushes it against his head, and says, "If you litter in Texas, you're littering on me. Don't mess with Texas." Okay. I will not litter. Now, obviously, we see how this message connects. I'm going to show you an example of how the charitable group that stops littering keeps this message tied to their actual campaign. Here's a recent piece.
Hey, this is Owen Wilson.
This is Erica Badu.
I'm Janine Turner.
This is Julius Jones.
This is Lance Armstrong.
This is Leanne Womack.
We're Lost Lonely Boys.
This is Chuck Norris.
This is Jennifer Love Hewitt reminding you.
Don't mess with Texas.
Now, personally, I would have ended on Chuck Norris. But they're like, no, everyone's afraid of Matthew McConaughey. So put yourself inside that pickup truck, compare the two campaigns, and it's pretty clear which one makes a difference. The first one seems like a good campaign, but then when you see the difference of a cultural connection, it's that much more powerful. In addition to making that cultural connection, litter on the side of the road was reduced by 72% over 4 years, slightly exceeding the goal, which was 5%. And of course, that slogan is now synonymous with Texas. The takeaway is that in all industries, innovation starts by intimately observing your customer, whether you're in design, artist, entrepreneur, or if you put on events. It matters for your CEO just as much as it matters for your newest hire. I'll give you an example of how different companies are pushing to really understand their customer. I was interviewing the head of design for GM, and I was most interested in the Cadillac Escalade, the greatest selling SUV by dollar value. The reason, of course, that this vehicle is so hot is that it is in every rap video. It is an icon of hip-hop culture. So I asked him, how did you make this possible? Was this, product placement in videos, or what did you do? And he said, well, Jeremy, I designed a luxurious sport utility vehicle for affluent males aged 45 to 60. And then that happened. I'm glad I went to school. I'm glad I studied marketing. That really worked out. But when he didn't understand his customer, when chaos changed his world, he needed to know how they thought. So he personally went to one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Detroit. And I want you to think about who's driving the Escalade in the most dangerous neighborhood in Detroit. Then when he saw one, he flagged it down, went up and said, excuse me, young man, but I designed this vehicle and I was wondering if I could accompany you on a ride alongside your business for the day. Wow. Think about how much he'd learned, though, from talking to someone who's otherwise so culturally different. And for that young man, this is an opportunity to hang out with the guy that invented the icon of his lifestyle. So when you're hunting for trends, then you start by resetting your expectations, build your customer understanding, and sure, look at what your competitors are doing, but also look at what's happening in other events. Fashion, design, marketing, pop culture. What are the coolest runways that are getting viral attention, and what elements of that could you actually bring into an event? Look in these other industries and you can find a way to reinvent. Then look for patterns that are interesting, and from there you can start to innovate. The idea of how do you package your messages so that they create word of mouth and viral attention online. Basically, at TrendHunter.com, we've learned that there's 3 ways to cultivate infection. You can have a viral creation, a viral medium, or a well-packaged story, or all 3. Let's talk about the first one, having a viral creation. This is the idea that your product or service itself is so good, your meetings are so unique and interesting that people talk about them. So as an example, here's a product that we once wrote about. How many here sometimes work from home? So none of you then. No, that was like everyone. Now today, you have webcams on your laptop, so the joy of working in your pajamas or boxer shorts fades away when someone wants a Skype meeting. And if you need that Skype meeting, then what you need is one of these. You need a suit. But you don't need just any suit, you need a half suit. All business up top, all party down below. This was back in 2006, but 175 sites linked to us, 1,800 sites linked to them. Fast forward 6 months, and that little half suit got about 35 million free impressions. That was back then. Now we're 20 times bigger. Twitter and Facebook have made things faster. Word of mouth travels faster than ever before. So the lesson for you is not that you're going to make an event that is a half suit. The lesson is, today, when you create something that connects, your story will travel faster than ever before. So let's start getting into how you'd make your message travel. Well, the medium, the way you convey your message is very important. And I'll give you an example. This guy is Josh Bell. Josh Bell plays a $3.5 million Stradivarius violin. He played the background music in the red violin. And when he's on stage, he makes $1,000 a minute. So quite simply, for what it is that he does, he is the best in the world. So the Washington Post, as a case study, wanted to throw a free concert. They found the busiest area they could in Washington. They set him up, and you're on the planning committee. You've got to figure how many people are going to stop. 1,100 people are going by every hour. So the question to you is, how many will stop and listen? Will it congest? What's going to go down? How many think 500 will stop? Put up your hand if you think 500 will stop. How many people think 250 will stop? All right, how many people think 100 will stop out of 1,000? All right, here's what happened. Josh Bell is the best in the world. When he's on stage, he makes $1,000 a minute. But when he's not packaged like that, just 7 people stop, and he makes a total of just $35. Most of which came from one woman who recognized him and said, "Hey, will you be here again next week?" Portray your product as average, and that's all that it will ever be. How is your meeting or event the best in the world for that specific group of people who love it so badly? That's what you need to think about and package accordingly. This all brings us to our very last section on creating a well-packaged story. Specifically, what is it that you're trying to do? Having a consistent and concise answer to this can have a very big impact on your company. Back in the day at Southwest Airlines, people used to ask Herb Kelleher a lot of questions. It became the only airline that was successful because he always had a consistent answer to this question, and that helped people think for themselves. In the early days, someone said, hey, what type of salad should we get? Because LA Las Vegas research says that people would like a salad. Should we do another survey? And he said, low-cost airline, low-cost airline. Okay, so no salad at all then. Got it. When you have a consistent answer, it becomes a mantra. Everyone making decisions in your organization knows how to make them. Everyone going to your events or working with you knows what you're all about. So what are the 7 words or less that define what it is that you do? At Trend Hunter, we like to say rule number 1 is to relentlessly obsess about your story. We've published 65,000 articles now, and each one will get on average 1,000 views. Every day there's 100, but some will get 10,000, and some might get 50 or 100,000. So we very carefully study the title, because the title, we've learned, is what causes a message to travel. In fact, as a little example, does anyone remember there was a politician that came out? Her name was Sarah Palin. When Sarah Palin came out, someone wrote an article, and they called it Female Vice Presidents, and it was getting some traffic. And I thought, hey, this is a great example for an experiment. So I put out another article, and I called mine Hot Vice Presidents. The exact same article, same content, but a test to see how much difference one word could make. The first one got 30,000 views. The second one got 1.1 million views and was sourced on CNN, Fox, and the Associated Press. Very careful word choice makes a big difference in word of mouth and viral, getting viral attention online. The first thing is that your story needs to be simple. Simple messages supercharge word of mouth. The second is you need to be direct. Direct does not mean descriptive. Direct means I get why I should choose you from your title. I know your value proposition. I know why you're different. That's direct. And finally, you need to be supercharged. When your message is supercharged, you're basically passing the I have to tell someone test, which is, the essence of what becomes viral. So let me leave you with 2 examples so you can see what this is all about. This little burger is called the Fleur Burger. It comes from the Fleur de Lis restaurant in the Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas. There we go. We've got some love for Vegas. So why this is such a good title is the Fleur Burger conveys French cuisine and luxury. You know it's a higher-end burger, and it's a play on words from the actual restaurant. So marketing teams would be very happy. But how many people would talk about this burger? Instead, if we called this the world's most expensive hamburger, that would be simple and direct, although still not supercharged. But what if we call this what it is? What if we call this a $5,000 hamburger? This hamburger actually costs $5,000. I think when you finish it, you should get a certificate for your wall that says, I just ate a $5,000 hamburger. Now, next time someone's complaining about an expensive entree in a restaurant, you're going to remember, how expensive was this burger? That message just stuck. And as our final example, keeping us in the wonderful world of hamburgers, I present to you this lovely beast. This could come from the Fat Burger Cafe. That would be simple and direct. But instead, this comes from the Heart Attack Grill. At the Heart Attack Grill, that's called a quadruple bypass burger. It's served to you by someone wearing a nurse's outfit. It comes in a combo pack that includes 3 beer and 3 packs of cigarettes. And if you finish it, they'll put you in a wheelchair and they will roll you back to your car. Rule number 1, relentlessly obsess about your story. Let me leave you with my thesis that by leveraging viral trends and methodical innovation, you can generate ideas, harness creativity, and ultimately exploit chaos. Thank you very much.